Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel,
Welcome back. This is a sample video of our latest podcast episode.
where we review the Netflix docu-series Tiger King.
We had so many people send us messages wanting to hear our thoughts on this series, so we have recorded a podcast, and this is just a short sample to give you an idea of what we speak about.
If you'd like to listen to the full episode, you can join us on Patreon, linked in the description below this video.
Hope you enjoy it. Happy listening. I don't even know how to kind of start this. Joe Exotic, that's the name he ended up giving himself, is the zoo owner. And as I said, he's one of the main characters in this series. It all kind of...
He is the Tiger King, so he's the protagonist.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about Joe in a way.
It is all about Joe.
And
we could sum it up by saying that in a way, couldn't we?
Yeah.
And when he was speaking, he said things like, this is my stage. These are my tigers. Everybody envies me. So straight away, he's painting the picture of himself as a narcissist.
Absolutely. I mean, we said at the beginning, it's all about Joe.
Yeah.
110%. He is a narcissist, and it was just his show, his stage. He loved the attention. It hurt your eyes. It hurt your ears to watch him and to hear him.
I mean, he was larger than life. If only he'd used his persona for good.
Well, he thought he was doing it for good, which we'll get in later. But deep down, he must have known that it wasn't for good, because he was doing it for money.
I was about to play devil's advocate there.
He was like trying to convince the audience, definitely, but almost trying to convince himself, like, I'm a good guy and I'm doing this for the right reasons. But just
volumes could be written about Joe from a psychologist's point of view, couldn't they?
I think he'd drive someone crazy themselves.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so he was talking about having this emotional connection with animals, and that they just wanted to be loved and just wanted to be petted.
I felt in many ways Joe was actually projecting in terms of he wanted to be loved. Yeah. And I think that becomes apparent as we learn more about his backstory, which we'll get to a little bit later on in this episode.
Yeah. So we see that he's working with baby bears on leashes. We see camels, we see chimpanzees in cages, all these different animals being kept in captivity. And it's really disturbing.
Yeah, it wasn't just the big cats.
No, yeah.
In episode 3, we learn a lot more about Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
She and her former husband started out by buying animals from an exotic animal auction.
So she actually started as one of the bad guys.
She did. They were going to live animal auctions to buy exotic animals.
Yes, and this made us think of the current coronavirus, because when we trace back where it started from, it came from a wet market in China. And this wet market had both wildlife, exotic animals, and domesticated animals, all crammed in different species. And that's where these kind of diseases can start from. And so we thought, oh, wow, this was happening decades ago, this trading of animals at markets or at auctions is potentially where these kind of diseases can start from.
Exactly. So, in the early 90s, she was breeding and selling cats.
Which is exactly what she is now trying to stop.
That's right. But I guess we can all evolve.
Yeah, which is exactly what happened with Carol.
There was a video of her back in 1994. It was a how-to video, and she says, "We'll show you how we take the animals from their mother, acclimate them to social life with people."
That was shocking.
Yeah.
That was so shocking. And the way she said it was like,
I don't know,
teaching
what
someone
word to
how
use.
to like bake something in the kitchen. It was just like nothing. Oh, we're just going to teach you how to take these animals, these babies, away from their mothers.
There's a word I'm looking for to describe the feeling, but anyway.
Sinister,
sinister.
creepy.
That's the word, sinister.
It's just wrong on all
creepy,
levels.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She
also said
in the video, they have to be taken this young from their mothers in order to make good quality pets from them. They are the words of somebody profiting from exploiting animals. Yeah.
Really, really bad. And it shows the intention of people in this industry.
Yes. Yeah.
To profit. This is all about money. So obviously she evolved, as we said, from a breeder to running a sanctuary and working to stop the breeding and trading of big cats.
Just like most vegans today were once non-vegan.
Yeah. And so now she runs Big Cat Rescue with her current husband, Howard.
Yes. Now, many vegans on social media have come to Carol's defense, saying that the series portrayed her unfairly and really tried to discredit her work. Some people are saying that this series glorified Joe and the other breeders and zoo owners and those owning big cats, while making Carol out to be a little kooky and just after money.
Yeah.
Our feelings?
Well, I mean, I don't think they necessarily glorified Joe and the other breeders and zoo owners. I think they were just like kind of more over the top than she was, perhaps, and their story was a little bit more twisted and their personalities was a little more...
I don't know, but think about it. She was implicated with the disappearance of her husband.
Yeah.
She was once a breeder herself and is now fighting this crusade to end animal breeding and animals in captivity.
These people just lived really bizarre lives.
Yeah.
Like their story, this is like Hollywood, but for real. It's just like not your ordinary person living next door. It's larger than life.
And we don't know Carol. You know, we'd never heard of her before, and we weren't aware of the work that she has done. And we have to say that we did buy into the image of Carol that the series portrayed.
Yeah.
And there was a strange wedding photo shown, wasn't there, of her and Howard at their wedding?
Yeah, so he was wearing this like cat print wrap, kind of like
a toga?
Yeah, like
Roman toga?
what the Flintstones would wear.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He looked like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
And he was on all fours and she had a leash around him. So like he's the cat and she's the owner and she's walking him.
Yeah.
This is a wedding photo and she was in her wedding dress.
Yeah,
and it was just bizarre.
It was bizarre.
You know, and I was going to say, you know,
so,
did they make her out to be kooky? Well, like I said before, she's wearing this flower halo on her head all the time, covered in cat print clothing. It's not your...
And had that photo at her wedding that we just described.
It's not your regular type of appearance that you would see just like in your workplace or walking down the street. So she is a kooky character to a degree, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, oh, something's not quite right here, maybe. I don't know. With that wedding photo, we just went, what?
And also in the beginning, when we first saw her big cat rescue premises, we actually questioned, you know, how is her place any different to a zoo? You know, it looked like a zoo to us. And so therefore I felt like the series definitely cast a doubt in viewers' minds about Carol's sanctuary and her intentions.
Yeah,
because that's the feeling I got.
Yes, I agree with you. And until you look into it yourself and do your own research, if you're going just by what the series showed you, as we said, our first thoughts were, how is this different to the other guys beside her not breeding them?
Yes.
Everything else seemed pretty much the same in terms of them being in cages. It's